Welcome to Live, Love, Teach. I wanted to go over a few different tips and tricks that you could use with your kiddos when teaching them how to read different sight words. I always like to use the Dolch set of sight words. You can definitely use the Fry set. I just love how the Dolch sets are organized. I like how they have the pre-primer, which is the pre-kindergarten level. They have the primer level, which is the kindergarten set of words, then the first grade, second grade, and third grade lists. I always begin with that pre-primer, pre-kindergarten level, and I always break it into sets of 5 words, but you can certainly, break it into however many words that you feel is best for your kiddo. So maybe if it's a younger kiddo that is learning sight words for the first time, you can begin with 3 words, you can begin with 4 words, you just kind of have to base it off of your own baby. Now, the first set of words that I always start off with are these 5 right here. I always begin with the word me, and I show my students that we put one thumb up and say M, we put another thumb up and say E, and then we point to ourselves and say me. So we do it a couple of times. We say M, E, says me. And then we always go over you next, and I'll tell my students that they're gonna make a Y with their arm. So Y, and then we make an O, and then point to the other person, you. And again, we do that a couple times. Y, O, U says you. Then we go on to C. And I always like to have my students make sight word glasses, and they love it too. So they'll do this and they say, okay, we need our sight word glasses. And then we'll look at the word and I say, okay, we need our sight word glasses so we can see. And whenever we're reading those words, whenever we're practicing those words, let's say that we're on the word see and they may forget that the first couple of times. You can always do this and you can kind of give them like a little prompt. You're not telling them the word, but you're giving them that clue, and they're going to use that to associate this motion with the word see. And you can definitely do that with the word you can do. And eventually what they're going to start doing is they're going to do that themselves to remember that word, and they'll be able to fluently read that word in any type of text. For the word can, I always like to tell my students to put their arm up to give a muscle, and they love to do that. You know that kiddos love to show their muscles. So with the word can, we'll say I can do it, and we point to the word can, we'll say can. Now our last one, help. I always like to use maybe like a favorite action figure or a favorite character, like The Incredibles. You can say, oh, when you're in trouble, what do you tell The Incredibles that you need? Help! And we always wave our arms up in the air like this. And that's just another prompt, another clue that you can give to your kiddo. When they're reading that word, they may forget it. You can always do that. And it'll, again, will help associate that motion with that word. So when practicing our sight words, it is so important to be able to identify those sight words in isolation. So that means being able to just look at the word itself and identify, hey, that's you. Oh, hey, that's can. But students need to be able to identify them in text as well. That means being able to identify them in a sign in a store, being able to identify them in a sentence in a story, being able to identify them in a recipe book. Anywhere that there is text, they are able to read that word. So I like to begin by just writing it using those words in a simple sentence. So I will use my 5 words, and I will start off with maybe using 2 of those words. I can see. And then I like to take those words, but I like to kind of switch the order. So notice how can is lowercase here, and it's in the middle of a sentence here. That C is lowercase. And notice here, it is an uppercase C because it is at the beginning of a sentence. Students often have a difficult time the first time that they see those sight words with a different first letter. So a lowercase c and an uppercase C. It is almost like a brand new word to them. So it's super important to use that word in various ways, using it with that uppercase letter and with that lowercase letter. So can you see? Now I'm taking that same sentence that I started with, but I'm adding on a sight word. So I can see, and now I'm using the word you. And once again, I'm switching the order of the words because we want them, again, to be able to read those words any which way, in any form, in any text. So can you see? And now I'm including the word me. And you can make a lot of fun sentences with that, you guys. You can include their favorite characters. If your kiddo is a big Frozen fan, you can have I can see, and you can write the word Elsa. Or if you're typing it on the computer, you can write I can see and put a picture of Elsa. Or if they're a big Marvel fan, you can say, can you see Black Panther? So the sky's the limit. Whatever is gonna get your kiddo excited to read, you guys do it. You want them to be excited. You want them to be able to read those words over and over again. And including their favorite characters is a super fun way to do that. So ways that you can practice these words are by using crayons. You could use paint. You could use markers. Anything that is going to get your kiddo to want to write those words is perfect. If you get them maybe a special gold marker or gold pen that is only used for practicing to write those words, or I call that sometimes rainbow writing, where I let them use different colors for each word, whatever gets them excited to write those words, use it. So what I always like to do is they can put it on a whiteboard, they can put it on a piece of paper, they can put it on a notebook, anything to write on, you guys. Chalk, they can write on the ground outside. But just having them write those words and having them write them a couple of times. So starting off with the word me, I always have the students say the letters as they're writing it. M, E, me. And when they're writing it, you can definitely write the words on the top for them to follow, for them to copy it. M, E, me. And again, you're going to have them say each letter as they're writing it. Y, O, U says you. You want them to be able to write it because it really, really forms that connection between the letters, that the order that the letters go in, and the word itself. Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and give the video a big thumbs up. Please, if you could subscribe to my channel, because I will be doing these videos quite often, and I would love to give you guys some more hopefully helpful tips and tricks that you could use to teach your kiddo. Bye.